And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Here to talk about all things professional wrestling, absolutely anything. We talk about Cody Rhodes. We talk about TNA. We talk about sometimes the NWA and MLW. Once when it gets crazy. I'm not going to, wrestling is on every day of the week. I do have a full-time job. I am a full-time husband and father. And yeah, I was a full time student, but I actually graduated. It's so crazy. As soon as you graduate from college, you kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, all right, what do I do with myself? Like, you know what I mean? So, obviously not jump off of diving boards and almost break your ankle is probably something you shouldn't do. 1010%. Take my word for it. So, it was crazy, guys. It was like a WWE botch. I wish I got some footage. I would have definitely shared it on the show. That would have been dope. Would have been awesome as hell. So, let's go and talk about that third segment about Brock Lesnar potentially coming back to the WWE. But before we get into any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, your opinions, your concerns, your wild conspiracy wrestling theories. I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all. It's not nothing like a nice, not like a nice sympathetic ear to hear about your guys' conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Remember the link is at the GSMCpodcast.net. Don't be too shy. Anything obviously is greatly appreciated. The only thing I really care about is, getting your guys' feedback on the show, what I'm talking about. Obviously, if you want to talk about something, this all you guys are more than welcome to sure, absolutely anything. 1010%. So yeah, once again, hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. So we're gonna talk about the reigning, defending, undisputed, universal. Well, he's not the champion anymore, but absolutely loved it when he was with Paul Heyman. Something about Brock Lesnar. He wasn't, when he made his way back to WWE after just his reign of dominance, when he was younger, when he was absolutely killing it. Of course, obviously, he was on the cover of SmackDown. Here comes the pain, one of my favorite, video games on the PlayStation. Um, Brock Lesnar, I kind of thought he was a boring champion, not because like every single time he fought somebody, he absolutely demolished them. Like think about it. Like AJ Styles put up a good fight. Surprisingly, you had Finn Balor put up a good fight. You had, obviously the people who basically whoever beats Brock Lesnar will be the new face of WWE. It's that prestigious. He's added so much prestige into his own name. Not, and screw that, like into like a title reign. The Universal Championship, when it first started with Finn Balor, he he of course he had to relinquish it because of his shoulder injury. Then after that, then you had the second Universal Champion, Kevin Owens, kind of like a screw you to Seth Rollins because I remember watching that episode of Monday Night Raw where Seth Rollins thought Triple H was going to help him, ended up pedigreeing Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring, had Kevin Owens cover him. Bam, we have a new Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. And then, with the, Chris Jericho and, you know what? You just made the list. Like, it was cool. It was funny, 1010%. But Kevin Owens, he never really won cleanly, never at all. He kept winning by interferences, cheating, kind of keeping a stronghold over that title. And it got to the point where like you kind of look at this funny red colored belt and you're like, is this like there was one point where I was like, all right, honestly, there's only the WWE Championship because you had the Universal Champion, and then you had Bill Goldberg beat Kevin Owens in like freaking 2 seconds, and it was just like so like oh god. So then Brock Lesnar comes around. Brock Lesnar, a two-time Universal Champion, had one reign for like 100 some days, had another reign that was 500 days, kind of holding that title to its ultimate value, showing that, okay, if you want it, you're going to have to come grab it. You're going to have to come out here, cut a really good promo. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to beat one of the best MMA fighters in the world, Brock Lesnar, a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion, a four-time WWE Champion. Brock Lesnar, that's something that he did for that title. I could, 1010%. The Universal Championship is 1010% prestigious. Became what it was. It as soon as Roman won it, it was really, really special. When Drew McIntyre won it, It was, I don't know, did he win it? I think he did. Or was Brock Lesnar WWE champion? Don't quote me on that. When Seth Rollins won, like it made it like not, I don't want to say stupid or dumb or anything like that. But Brock Lesnar, he basically brought the Universal Championship alive. Goldberg really didn't. I loved it when The Fiend had it, but The Fiend was screwed over in bookings thanks to WWE creative under Vince McMahon, where he lost to Bill Goldberg, which was absolute trash and garbage and one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life. Um, but that's something that I always had a little bit of respect for Brock Lesnar for, to be brutally honest. But before that, I never really liked Brock Lesnar. Got to be honest. I was like, oh, this is this big dumb guy. I'm just kidding. No, this dominant guy comes in, he kicks everybody's ass. I was like, I don't want to, like when you see someone step into the ring with Brock Lesnar, you just know they're gonna lose. Like even if they might have a slight advantage for like maybe like 10 seconds of the match, you see Brock Lesnar just like swat him down like a fly. F5, 1, 2, 3. And it's like it's a reason it happened. Brock Lesnar, um, one of the best professional wrestlers in WWE history and in combat sports history. So definitely love that. So anyways, bro, we haven't seen Brock Lesnar. Last time he wrestled was at WWE Summerslam 2023, where he lost to Cody Rhodes. Kind of like that, he was kind of like that first building block that kind of built Cody's momentum. Cody Rhodes lost the WWE a shot at Roman Reigns' Universal Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 39, thanks to Solo Sikoa. So this was kind of Cody Rhodes' momentum, just building back up, trying to build back up, being relevant in the sports entertainment industry, because they had this plan, they had this Cody story that was going to last 2 years, two back-to-back Royal Rumble winner, and obviously it was really really good because of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, that the Monday Night Raw after WWE WrestleMania 39, you had Brock Lesnar, turn his back on Cody Rhodes, starting their feud. They fought back and forth and tormented each other back and forth for about 3 or 4 months, which, it helped buy some time. I got to be honest. It helped buy, time. Then you had a ridiculous storyline with Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody Rhodes. And I was like, oh, really, dude? But no, like, and then, I think after that, then you saw Brock come back. No, wait, no, then he didn't come back. Don't quote me on that. But Brock Lesnar, the one thing that he does best, to be honest, I think personally, the best thing about Brock Lesnar is his ability to bring just worthiness to a championship. He brings attention to a championship, positive championship. And I got a chat right here from my girl Anna Gonzalez. Hey, GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. News: my brother's dog Oreo is passing away Tuesday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, all goes well. In doggy heaven for your dog Oreo passing away. My thoughts and prayers with your family. I know, dogs are family members too as well. So, sometimes their death, not, shouldn't be taken lightly. So obviously a family member passing away. I'm sorry to hear that. So, more Brock Lesnar's news. Brock Lesnar was apparently, he was planned to return to the Royal Rumble in January. Obviously he was pulled from the event because of everything with the Janelle Grant allegations. Don't want to get too deep into that. Mail Sport asked Triple H about the potential Brock Lesnar return. Triple H had this to say, and I quote, you'd have to ask Brock. You'd have to ask Brock that, Brock kind of does his own thing. If he decides to come back, we are open to the conversation. So the ball is in Brock's court. Only time will tell when he decides to kind of warm back up to WWE. Obviously, this isn't the same Vince McMahon era. Brock Lesnar has been caught talking about, will he be part of any wrestling promotion if it wasn't run by Vince McMahon? He kind of said, hell no. So, obviously, Brock was kind of Vince's guy. Obviously, we kind of saw that, kind of tell. Also noted that Brock Lesnar was spending time with his family in Canada, attending hockey games. And, his daughter, I think his daughter's like a Olympic weightlifter, I believe. So I think that's definitely, kind of cool, 1,010%. He's a two-time Universal Champion, four-time WWE Champion. How would the landscape look in WWE if Brock Lesnar returned? It would look absolutely insane, to be honest. Gunther wanted to face Brock Lesnar. He wanted him. He said, and I quote, Gunther said, "I always saw Brock Lesnar as my final boss." So he was talking about being mostly known for the UK as a UK NXT kind of guy. But so you have the ring general wanting to face Gunther. That would be pretty interesting. Um, Brock Lesnar could possibly be waiting for the Janelle Grant allegations to kind of blow over, which is kind of seemingly so. Like there was a point where WWE did ban Brock Lesnar's name from being brought up. You don't really want to go out with such negative publicity because you know fans could be brutal. Fans could be brutal. Obviously, it's a situation that's still ongoing right now with Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and unfortunately, his name was actually brought into the mix as well. And it just kind of sucks. But once when you have a professional wrestler, not being able to do what he does, that pleases us the most is kind of go out there and do his thing. But so I think honestly, for his family and everything like that, for his wife, for his kids, kind of waiting for this thing to kind of blow over is probably the best thing to do, possibly do. But if he comes back, Paul Heyman is out. He comes back with Brock Lesnar to challenge Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa ultimately beats over Brock Lesnar, which would put Solo over 1,010%. I think if he beats Brock Lesnar, I think that would ultimately be like, all right, maybe this guy could hang with Roman Reigns or something like that. But Brock would kind of have to come in as a scapegoat. And I don't know if he's going to be just like, he comes back his first meeting and be like, all right, welcome back to the WWE. You're going to lose to this guy who's, one of the top 10 superstars with the with the most losses in their career as of July of 2024. So I don't know how he'll bite after that. Me personally, I'd be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just kidding. No, absolutely not, because Brock Lesnar, when he's inside of a ring, you just know. You just notice him when you he's just someone that can't be ignored. Obviously, he's a pretty big dude that'll knock anybody's block off. But Brock Lesnar, 1,010%, I would love to see him back into the WWE. Absolutely warmed up to him. Would be pretty interesting to see what WWE would do with his character. And yeah, everything in between that. So I think that'd be pretty dope. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to move on to our fourth segment. We're going to talk about some hot seat cool beans. Like I said before, is the stove hot under the superstar competing at Death Before Dishonor? Is this match bigger than, bigger than what they expect? Or is the stove cool? Is it cool beans if they win? Is it cool beans if they lose or draw? Whatever. It ultimately won't affect their status and their, creative development or anything like that. So, we're going to dig into that as soon as we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.